Hello students, welcome to this part 2 of today's prose lesson, Wrong Man in Workers Paradise for semester 3 of BA, BCom, BSc, BBA of colleges which are affiliated to Usmania University. I am Bangla Bharati, Associate Professor of English working at Vivekananda Government Degree College, Vidyanagar, Hyderabad. Yesterday in part 1, we have seen the introduction of the prose lesson, The Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise, and the writer, the Nobel laureate, Rabindranath Tagore, and his childhood. And what influence was there of Rabindranath Tagore's life that is slightly autobiographical, which is reflected in this particular prose text, A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise. Let me again relaunch the PowerPoint. If you have your textbooks with you, do share your textbooks, keep them open. Yes, a wrong man in workers' paradise. What does it mean? Who is a wrong man? And what's workers' paradise? What happens? We have seen the first paragraph of the text. Let me make it full screen. So that we wouldn't waste much time. Yes, wrong man in workers' paradise. Now, what does it mean? A quick recap of what we have done in the introduction. As you know, Nobel laureate Tagore is a polymath. He is very, very talented, multifaceted personality. He's a writer, poet, painter, lyricist, music composer, and not only that, he did a lot of experiments with education system, and he has founded a school on experimental basis that is called Shanti Niketan. Based on that experimental school where children are free to pursue what interests them. You can pursue arts, you can pursue science, you can do any kind of subjects like your CBCS system. You can choose optionals or choices of the subjects that you want to study. But in Shantiniketan, it's like if you're interested in painting, go for a painting class and literature class, and then you're interested in zoology. So you can have a combination like that. So children are free, they take their own time. There is a syllabus, but then it's an experimental school where there is no pressure of examinations, grades, ranks, marks. That kind of pressure is not there, which we usually find it in the traditional education system. So Tagore's Shantiniketan was an example based on which you have many other schools coming up, which came up like Rishi Valley Public School and a branch of Rishi Valley Public School in Bangalore. Based on Shantiniketan, there is another school, Sriniketan. There are many schools that are coming up with play-way method. That means they teach the children like as if they are playing. So like playing with joy, with entertainment, they learn new things. Now, A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise. Here the background is, in an artist's world, what is art? Why is it important? Does it have any value at all? What kind of artist does the society value? How do you value it? Is it based on the success or based on the amount that you earn through your art? Can you make it a career? If not, why can't you make it a career? What are the hurdles? What are the restrictions? What are the inhibitions? And what are the societal attitudes that stop a person from pursuing his hobby as a full-time career? Now, in this particular prose lesson, a wrong man enters workers' paradise. What happens? We'll look at the text. Yesterday we started. Each text I have divided into 5 small parts. Each part of the text, you have some questions before doing that part. While reading the text, you try to find answers for these questions. So first paragraph will be in the next slide. I'll give you some time to go through the text first, 2 minutes to go through your questions, and then 3 minutes to go through the slide. So we begin with the first slide, the first paragraph of the text. Now, it's translated from the original Bengali story written by Rabindranath Tagore, and this translation of English translation was done by Bhavani Bhattacharya. Now, the questions for the first paragraph. What did the man indulge in? What did he make during his time on earth? How did he spend or how did he waste his time? What happened after his death that's compared to some boys who never read their books? What did the aerial messenger do? 5 questions, okay? Keep the questions in mind. If you have a doubt, you just make a note of the questions. And now I'll give you a close-up of this first part of the lesson. Try to find the answers. So what did the man indulge? What did he make when he was on earth? How did he spend his time? What happened after his death? And what did the aerial messenger do? I'll watch the time for you. I'll give you 5 minutes to go through this text part here. And your time starts now. For the parts where the text is not very visible because of my video, I'll shift it slightly up. So the man never believed in utility. Having had no useful work to do, he indulged in mad whims. He made little pieces of sculpture, men, women, and castles, quaint earthen things dotted over with seashells. He painted. Thus, he wasted his time on all that was useless and unnecessary. People laughed at him. Sometimes he would vow to shake off his mad whims, but his mad whims would keep clinging to his mind. First question, what did the man indulge in? He indulged in mad whims. What did he do during his time on earth? He made little pieces of sculpture, men, women, and castles, quaint earthen things dotted over with seashells. So to be precise, what did he do? He painted. So he wasted his time and all the things that were useless and unnecessary. Now, what happened after his death that is compared to the students not studying very well but still passing their examinations? Some boys never ply their books and yet pass their examinations. A similar thing happened to this man. He spent all his life in unnecessary work on the planet Earth. Yet, after his death, the gates of the heavens flung open for him. But the moving finger writes even in the heavens. So it came to pass that the aerial messenger who took charge of the man made a mistake and found a place for him in workers' paradise. So this is your first paragraph. And what are the questions that we had? What did the man indulge in? We have answered. What did he make during his time on earth? He made pieces of sculpture with men, women, castles, and quaint earthen things, and he dotted them with seashells. How did he waste his time? In making useless and unnecessary things. What happened after his death? Just like some boys who do not focus much but still pass the exams like that, though he didn't do anything great during his lifetime on earth, after his death, the doors of heaven were flung open for him. What did the aerial messenger do? The Chitragupta? He made a mistake and found a place for him in workers' paradise. Now, what is workers' paradise? How do you describe it? We'll move to the next slide, the next paragraph, second part. The questions, go through the questions. What kind of place is workers' paradise? What do you find there? What do the people who live there say? What do the men say? What do the women say? And how did this newcomer spend his time in workers' paradise? Why did he not fit in the scheme of things in workers' paradise? Okay, now we'll look at the close-up of the text. Again, I'll give you 3 minutes of time. This time I won't read it for you. You have to read it. If possible, do a loud reading, and then you kind of try to find the answers for these questions. Here comes this close-up. I'll watch the time for you. I'll give you 3 minutes to read it and then find the answers. Your time starts now. Okay, what kind of place is this workers' paradise? Look at the questions once again. What do people who live there say? What do the men say? What do women say? How did the newcomer spend his time in paradise? Why did he not fit in the scheme of things in the paradise? The answers? What do you find in workers' paradise? Everything except leisure. Here, what do men say? God, we haven't a moment to spare. And women whisper, let's hurry, oh dear, let's hurry on, dear. Time's flying. And all say, time's precious. Time is very precious. We always have our hands full. We are making use of every single minute. They sigh complainingly, and yet those very words make them feel happy and exalted. So what is it, workers' paradise? You find everything except leisure or free time. People say that we don't have a minutes to spare. Women whisper, oh my God, time is flying, we have to hurry up. At the end of the day, they feel very happy that they've used every single minute of their time in doing something productive. Now, the next question, how did the newcomer spend his life here? Now, here is a newcomer. He has spent all his life on planet Earth without any employment. So no job, no work, no discipline also. So what happened? He didn't fit in the scheme of things in workers' paradise. How did he spend his time? He launched in the streets absent-mindedly and jostled with hurrying men. Jostled, suppose entire people are coming this way. You are walking very leisurely at your own place and you bump into them. So bumping into somebody who is going at a fast pace and you are at a leisurely manner, what happens? People are hurrying and you jostle, you bump into them. So what happens? They get disturbed. And when all the farmers are busy doing the work, he finds a meadow and he happily lies down there. He lay down in the green meadows and was taken to task by the farmers. So he was always in the way of others. So the answers to these questions, what kind of a place we have done? What do the people say? Yes. How did he spend his time? By lazing around and lounging and always coming in between the other people's work, disturbing them. Why did he not fit? Because he comes from a place where he didn't have any employment, and paradise, workers paradise, is a place where everybody is busy and using every minute of their time in doing something productive. Now here comes the hustling, that is very fast, active girl who went every day to a silent torrent. Why is the torrent? Torrent is a small stream which flows happily making a noise. I mean, when the water or a little stream flows on the water, pebbles, you know the kind of music and the sound it comes. But because this is workers' paradise, the torrent also did not waste its energy by singing. So here is an active girl who goes to the torrent to fill her pitcher with water. With this, we come to the third part of the text. These are the questions. Describe the girl's movements. What was her reaction when she found this newcomer doing nothing? And what did she offer? What was the man's reaction? And when she offered to do something, what else? What did he ask for and to do what? These are the questions. Again, I'll expand the text for you. Go through it. Again, 3 minutes of time. Read and try to find the answers. I'll watch the time for you. Here is the text. And your time starts now. 3 minutes. Last 30 seconds. Yes. So what were the questions for this paragraph? Describe the girl's movements. How did she move? She moved on the road. Her movement was like a rapid movement of a skilled hand on a strings of a guitar. Either sitar, guitar, any stringed instrument, if somebody is playing with that expertise, do you think the hands will be visible? No, that fast and that quick her movements were. What was her reaction when she found the newcomer? It was like, where did she find him standing? He was standing by the fountain, motionless. What was her reaction when she saw this man just standing there doing nothing? Her reaction was like a princess who sees a lonely beggar through her window, and is filled with pity. And what did she offer? She thought maybe this man has no work, he is new. So she said, aha, you haven't any work in hand, have you? And what was the man's reaction? He sighed and said, work? I haven't a moment to spare for work. Then the girl did not understand. So what did she do? She said, I might manage to spare some work for you if you like. But then what did he ask? She offered some work, but what did he ask? What sort of work? Girl of the silent torrent, couldn't you give me one of your pictures, one which you could spare? So when she offered to give some work, this newcomer said, I don't have time to even think of work, but then if you can you give me your picture, one of the pictures? The girl said, okay. She thought maybe he wants to draw water from the well. But then what did he want to do? He said, no, I will draw pictures on your picture. So what did the girl feel? She was annoyed. She was disturbed. She was put off. She said, I have no time to waste on people such as you. I'm going. And she went. But then what happened? Here comes the next part of the text, the third part. So he asked, when she found this boy doing nothing, like a princess who saw from the window at a beggar, lonely beggar, how the princess will be filled with pity like that, she tried to offer him some work. But instead, he asked for her picture. But she said, I have no time to waste on people like you, and she left. But then, did he convince the girl to give him the picture? What did he do? What was the girl's reaction after seeing his artwork? What did the girl do with the picture at home? How did her routine change? What did the unemployed man ask for this time? This is quite a lengthy paragraph. There are many questions. So I'll give you more time. So 3 minutes, I'll keep the time for you while you go through it. Watching the time for you. Though she went away, I don't have time for people like you. She went away, but then this man, the newcomer, was persistent. He went on to ask her, girl of the silent torrent, give me one of your pictures. And what will you do with it? He said, I'll draw pictures on it. Finally, she had to give one of her pictures. Then what did he do? That was the question. When he finished, he gave it to her. She looked at it. She didn't understand. What do they mean, all these lines and colors? What is the purpose? Then the man laughed. And she took it home. What did she do with the picture after going home? She held it in the light, turned it round and round, scanned the painting from all the sides. At night, she left her bed, lit a lamp, and again scanned it to find some meaning or purpose to it all. Then what was the change that came in the girl's attitude? Next day, she went to the silent torrent. Usually, what is her speed? She goes in a very fast, like a lightning speed she goes. But now, she went to the torrent, but her steps weren't that hurried. She wasn't keeping that kind of pace like before. And then she kept on thinking, what is the purpose and meaning of all this? He was still standing there. What do you want from me? She asked. And then he asked, I want one more work from you, that I want to make color ribbons for your hair, if you will. So the question is, how did he convince the girl to give him the picture? Because he was standing there every day, she had to give it. What did he do? He took it, removed the paints and brushes from his pocket, and he nicely painted it and made all kinds of designs. After seeing it, the girl's reaction, she was taken aback. She couldn't make anything out of it. She asked, what is the purpose? He said, no purpose. They are just like that. And what did she do with the picture at home? She took it home. She watched it in the light, and what change came over her? Next day when she went to the torrent, she wasn't as usual. That usual hurry and usual speed was not there. Her movements she slowed down her movements because she was thinking a lot. Things are going on in her mind. What is the purpose? What is the use of all these paintings? Okay. The girl went home with the picture. She held it in the light, turned round and round. First time she saw something without meaning and purpose. She went to the torrent next day. And what happened there? He wanted to make another favor. He asked for to make color ribbons. The questions now, what did the unemployed man wanted to do with the ribbons? How did it affect the routine of this girl? What changes did the workers of paradise witness? What did the elders do? What did the aerial messenger confess to? Why was the man summoned? How was his appearance? These many questions. Again, it's a slightly lengthy paragraph. So go through it again. I hope you remember the questions. Questions are here. What did the unemployed man do with the ribbons? Read it. I'll again keep the time for you. 3 minutes. Your time starts now. Okay, what did the unemployed man do with the ribbons? He made ribbons gleaming with all kinds of colors. How did it affect the routine of the girl? The busy girl of Workers' Paradise started spending more time every day trying to tie her hair with these colored ribbons around her hair, and most of the time went by in her decorating herself. So what was the result? Much of the work was left unfinished. Time was running away. Time was flying. There was lots of work to do, and that work got pending. And this had a domino effect. And all the workers in the paradise, they suddenly of late began to suffer. I mean, there was a change in their attitude. Usually earlier they used to rush to do work. They always used to complain there is not enough time, there is not a minute to rest and all that. And now most of the people who were active before, now they started being idle. They started wasting their precious moments in doing unnecessary things like painting and sculpture. Now, this has changed the workers' work culture of the workers' paradise. Naturally, when the work culture changes, work progress stops. The higher ups or the elders or the people in charge of the paradise will be alerted. So, what did the elders do? They called for a meeting. And then they called the aerial messenger also. What is it? Why did the work atmosphere suddenly change in this paradise? Then the aerial messenger, he confessed. What did he confess? By mistake, I have put a wrong man in this workers' paradise. He was an artist. Maybe I should have sent him to an artist's paradise. But I bought him and put him in workers' paradise. Then the man was summoned. And how was his appearance? So the questions you have to answer in the last paragraph is, last part, the man was summoned. How was his appearance? What was the decision taken by the elders? Were they justified? What was the man's reaction to the elders' decision? What was the surprise the elders got that never happened in workers' paradise? I'll give you 2 minutes to read it and find out the answers. I'll keep the time for you. Your time starts now. Okay, time up. So, why was the man summoned? Because he was identified as the main reason why the work was suffering in workers' paradise. He was summoned. How was his appearance? He came in. The elders saw him. His appearance was, he had a fantastic dress, his quaint brushes, a pile of paintings. Looking at his appearance, the people realized that he was not the right kind of person for the workers' paradise. Then, what did they decide? Were they justified? What was the man's reaction to the elders' decision and what was the surprise? So, stiffly, the president said, This is no place for people like you. Therefore, you will have to leave at once. Okay? Once the people, elders have realized that this is a wrong man, he can't be living in this paradise, he called the artist, the unemployed person, and they have told him, the president, this is no place for you, therefore you have to leave. And what was the man's reaction? He sighed in great relief. Thank God I'll be out of this place. That kind of a relief. And then he gathered all his brushes, paints, and when he was about to leave, this something, a surprise thing happened which never happened before in the history of Workers' Paradise. What was it? The girl of the silent torrent, she came up tripping. Tripping is rushing. She said, wait a minute, for I too will go with you. So this was a surprise. One surprise was the work was suffering, which never happened before in Workers' Paradise. And the second surprise, a girl who was active and performing well, who was working a lot, very hard working and keeping up the time, who's very fast in her work. She stopped working and she wanted to go with the man along with him to wherever he's going. This was something that never happened in Workers' Paradise. This is where your text ends. And the questions that you need to understand or look at is here. The author presents the man as an idler and calls the other place paradise. Are we supposed to take his words literally, or does he mean something different? So you have heard in the part 1 of this particular lecture series, I told you about the biodata life and times of Tagore, how he was against going to school, how he was self-taught, how he believed in nature and the works around. Now he's presented as the idler in this particular story, something that Tagore was called when he was young, that this person doesn't do anything, he doesn't go to school. One day he's playing, one day he's writing songs, one day he's doing something else. So people who are not into a disciplined pattern where systematically things happen, if they don't fall into the system, they are called idler. And the other place, the Workers' Paradise, is called paradise. Are we to take these words literally, or Tagore means something else? This is a question you have to understand, and whatever you feel, you have to answer. Now, irony is a way of using words and tone to mean something quite opposite to what is actually being said. So, idler is an artist, and Workers' Paradise is a paradise where what is the concept of heaven actually? We are told that heaven is a place where there is peace, there is no need for any wants or desires. It is where there is utmost peace. You get everything what you want. This is the concept of paradise, where there is lots of peace of mind. Now in this Workers' Paradise, is it really a paradise? It's a paradise for what kind of people? So is that Tagore's way of criticizing or irony by calling it paradise and calling this artist as an idler, which in fact means quite opposite to what is being said? So in this context, you have to discuss the author's use of irony in the story. To quote Tagore, again, he wrote it in his autobiographical essay that whenever he wrote a beautiful poem, he read it out to somebody, and if somebody says he has not understood, sorry, I didn't understand, then Tagore says, I'm not nonplussed. Because someone smells a flower and says he does not understand, so what is there to understand? It is only a scent, right? A flower, it's a beautiful flower, you look at it, you admire the beauty, you smell it, and you get that, smell the scent. So what is there to understand? Even if the other person goes on to saying that I know, but what does it all mean? What is the meaning of art? Then one either has to change the subject or make it more abstruse by telling him that the scent is the shape which the universal joy takes in the flower. So I think this will sum up Tagore's point of view, the writer's point of view in writing this particular lesson, Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise. So students, this is where your lesson ends. But then the thought behind it moves from here on. What is it? What is the place of an artist in the society? Why are artists not given the kind of respect that other careers or other jobs have? And if you want to choose your hobby as a career, then don't ever feel hindered or don't stop your abilities. Go ahead. There are many people who made their hobbies into successful careers. All the filmmakers have started as a short filmmakers and they made into full length films. If you are interested in painting, you can paint the painters of the traditional painting, or you could get into animation, which is again a beautiful industry where there is lots of success. And for your information, even Walt Disney has tied up with many animation firms from India, especially South India, and that too in Hyderabad and Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So we are doing projects which are based in Hollywood. We are doing the colors, we are doing the paintings, where you have the animation work given outsourced to us, and there's good amount of money, which is a budding industry which has lots of future. In the same way, if you are interested in graphics, move into graphics. Latest film Bahubali, you have seen how much of graphics was used, and the Indian graphic scenario has lots of prospects, career prospects. If you're into painting, pursue it. If you're into storytelling, pursue it. That could be a career. If you are good at writing text, writing songs, pursue it. So there is a scope for each and every kind of a hobby in the modern days. So don't get bogged down by what people say, what the society says. Follow your heart. That is what ultimately Tagore tries to convey, Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise. We all feel as if we are in a wrong place if we are not understood, if what we expect doesn't happen. So we feel out of place. Out of place because the system doesn't support you, or out of place because you're not able to establish a connection with the kind of environment you're working in. So enjoy doing what you like and do what you like. When your profession is what your hobby is, what your vocation is your vacation, then definitely miracles happen. And this is the essence of Tagore's Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise. In this, you have short questions like, what sort of things the man do on earth? What was the mistake of the aerial messenger? How do people in Workers' Paradise spend their time? Why did the man not fit in with the others in Workers' Paradise? How is the girl described? What was the girl's initial impression of the man? What did the girl do after taking home the painted picture? What is the effect of the man's creation on the girl and others in Workers' Paradise? What is the decision taken by the elders? Were they justified? What was the man's reaction to the elders' decision? What was the decision taken by the elders? Were they justified? Maybe they were justified in their own way because they represent a system, the Workers' Paradise, which has certain set of rules. There's discipline to be followed. There's work timing. There's certain allocation of work which has to be completed in the time limit. So an artist has disturbed this entire system, and the entire system was about to collapse and get into very disarray. In that sense, to maintain the sanity of the system, to maintain the discipline of the system, to keep the system working, the elders were justified in their decision. But when we look at the artist's point of view, especially we are all in the 21st century, you're all millennial children. So you have to accommodate different kinds of people. We all have all kinds of variety among the classroom or in the society. We all have to create some space for all these groups to feel they are connected, to feel that they are part of the system, to feel that they belong to the system, and we have to assure them that they are the part, they are contributors, and together we form a system, together we form a nation, and together when we have that national feeling in us, we will progress. And Rabindranath Tagore was always an advocate of one world and one race. One race is the human race. One world is our world, planet Earth. So we are all one, despite different languages, states, castes, creeds, religions. We are all one human race. That unity has to bind us together, and what binds us together is art. People might be from different languages, different places, but it's the human touch, the human connection that is established through art. So art is not only for art's sake, art is also for future's sake, to bridge this gap between generations, to bridge the gap between future and present and past. So it connects everything like a connector. So art is required. So with this, we come to the end of the prose lesson, Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise of Unit 1, Lesson 2. And tomorrow we'll meet with another class. I would suggest that you watch the videos once again at your own pace. Go through the text, get a copy of the text. I hope I have shown you this is the prescribed text for you. Get your own copy and then follow it. Watching the videos, reading the text, you do the exercises. Try to do it at your own pace. I hope you have understood it. If you have any doubts, you can leave your comments in the comment box. I'll try to clear it them. Okay? So students, stay safe, wear your masks wherever you're going, stay protected, wash your hands as many times as possible with soap, and when outside, don't touch all the things with your bare hands. Use only your left hand to touch things and right hand to touch yourself. So non-dominant hand, you try to give more work to it. Stay safe, use sanitizers. COVID is really spreading. You have to take responsibility for yourself. You have to take the responsibility for others also. So with this, we come to the end of today's lecture series. Today's lesson of Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise. Stay safe, stay home, and we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you so much.